Sighren.
Hey, my gems. Shout out to each and every one of you guys. I am getting ready to go to a lunch date with Bae, and then I have to go live today. So let's get glorified, okay? Let's get beautified. I have this facial toner that I'm just spraying on my face first, okay? And then I'm gonna start with my primer. So what are we gonna talk about today? Okay. What are we going to talk about today? Today we are going to do a story time while we do our makeup, as usual, right? So the thing about my story times is I like to provide y'all with receipts, okay? And it takes a lot for me to have to go back and find all the pictures, and you know, I'm like, oh, I'm just so extra like that. There's nothing y'all can do to say it's okay, sorry. Listen, I'm extra like that, okay? That's the Virgo in me somewhere, is what that is. So yeah, that's just how it is. So anywho, we are going to talk about some things. I'm just like, I kind of want to get all of the crazy stories out the way first, okay? And then, you know, go from there. So I'm so excited about today. We're going to go to a restaurant called Seasons 52. We haven't been there in a while. But the thing I love about them is that they have smaller portions as far as their food is concerned. And then it lets you know how many calories, okay? It's okay. It's an all right restaurant. It's really, you know, it's okay. I wouldn't give it like, you know, 10 out of 10. I would give it like about a 6.5, you know, out of 10. They do give you small portions though. I ain't gonna lie. If you're not on like any weight management, you might want to order 2. I'm gonna show y'all when we get there. But anywho, I'm gonna be working with this palette today. It's called Mischief Minx. And these are the colors, y'all. Okay, let me see. Yeah, these are the colors right here. So I think I am going to play around with this, and this, and maybe a little bit of this too. Okay, so I think I'm going to play around with those colors right there. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's get started, you guys, on this particular look. Now, like I said, I wasn't for sure which story time I wanted to talk to y'all about. So let me get started on this first. So this is pretty much a tinted moisturizer, you guys. This is not the foundation. Okay, I got this from the cosmetic company store. This is by Bobbi Brown. And it is simply a tinted moisturizer. So it's just putting more moisture on my face. Okay, and it's a tinted. Now you can use this. This is great for those winter looks that are not that heavy. Okay, hold up. Yeah, these are great for the winter looks where you just want to throw on like just a little light face. Okay, but I like mine to be a little more perfected because y'all know I be extra with stuff. That's just what I do. I be extra, okay? I am just the extra queen. Now, when it comes to this Tom Ford, you don't have to put too much. That's what I love about it. Or, you know, you don't want to put too much. Let's put it that way, okay? So let's go ahead and get this right on together. So I'm going to talk to you guys about my house when it burnt down. It was the craziest experience, y'all. With me losing my house to a fire. And I'm not talking about a little fire. This was a huge fire. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, y'all. So here we go. I was living in Georgia, and my son was living with me. My son had his incident, which I will have a story time about that as well. And, you know, that's a whole other story time. So my son was getting ready to move back to Miami because even though he had been living with me here for like about, I think, 1.5 years, you know, all of his friends were in Miami. So he wanted to go back to Miami to, you know, be around his friends and stuff like that. At least that's what he thought. I wasn't gonna hold him back, so I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So it is around Thanksgiving time. It's November. And I was like, well, you know, we could take him back to Miami around Thanksgiving, and then, you know, I can meet with my mom, you know, hang with my mom, my family, and then Bae, his mom was still living at that time. So, you know, we were gonna chill with family. So it was like the perfect thing to do. So we were just like, all right, bet, we're gonna go ahead and take that trip down to Miami. I don't recall if I was still working at this time. I don't think I was. I don't think I was working. I think I had resigned from the workforce during this time, because I don't recall like having to take time off or anything of that nature. So I had resigned. I had resigned at this time from the workforce. So yeah, we decided we were going to go ahead and go home for Thanksgiving. So of course we pack up, right? And we decided to head on down there, and we get down to Miami, and we were going to stay for, I think, almost a week. If I'm not mistaken, we were going to stay down there for like 4 days because, you know, Thanksgiving is always on that Thursday. Okay. So we got down there like, when did we get down there? We got down there probably like that Wednesday. And then we were going to stay till Sunday. We were going to leave Sunday or Monday, one of the two. And like I said, Bae's mom was still living during this time. So of course we spend some time with my family. We spend some time with his family. And then we always, like, Bae got his, you know, his friends and stuff that he check in with as well. So here we go. So we down in Miami. We dropped my son off. I think he moved in with his aunt on his dad's side. I think he stayed with her when he first went down there. I don't recall where the hell my son went. I think he went to his aunt's house. Okay. So yeah, we're going to get started on these colors, y'all. All right, let's go ahead and let's make it do what it do. Let's just have fun. We're not going to take it serious. We're just going to have fun with it and see where it leads us. I think I'm going to start from the inside out because these colors are a little light. All right, so I'm going to start from the inside with this bigger one right here. I'm going to put that one on the inside, okay? And I like these colors because they have that nice little sheen. The pigment in it is very, very, very good, okay? When I say very good, you can do a really good animal print style with this one if you want to. Okay, but I don't want to do that. No animal prints for I, okay? So, yeah. And I think I got this from TJ Maxx. I don't think I got this from MAC. I think I got this from TJ Maxx. Okay, and like I said, I like the pigmentation on it. All right, so this is what we got so far, y'all. Okay, this is where we at with it. I noticed, like, I be covering my self up. I forget that I'm recording. The camera be right here, so I be doing this. I'm like, oh God, they can't even see what I'm doing. So I'm trying to show y'all as well. Okay. So back to the story at hand. We are in Miami. We're chilling. We're having a good time with family. Bae and I are like, we are all over the place. When we go to Miami, child, we get ignorant sometimes. I won't be showing y'all all that, child. We have a really good time. I think I'm going to go a little bit darker, y'all, with this one right here. Okay, I want to add some of that. But let me see what brush I want to add it with. Let me try this one. Okay, I just want to add this peachy color, like, just to darken it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to add this right up in here, which you can't really tell, but I'm going to brush it in. Okay, you really honestly can't tell, y'all, but I'm going to brush it in. Okay. And like I said, I'm just having fun. I'm honestly just having fun with it, y'all. All right. It's not really giving much. Okay, y'all see? It's not really giving much. So we're going to go in with this little red color right here. And we're gonna put that up in there as well, just to give it a little bit of a highlight, okay? All right, so maybe that will, you know what I'm saying, darken it up. And I wanna go in the crease with that red. Oh shoot, okay. All right, so it looks a little crazy right now, but you already know, we just put the color there and then we gonna add to it a little bit later, okay? We're gonna trick it out just a little bit later, which will be right now. So let's go ahead and let's trick this out, meaning we're gonna blend it like Beckham, okay? Let's go in and let's go ahead and blend that so we can make it look nice and natural. You see that? Very nice and natural. So now we're just gonna add our anchor color. The anchor color is like the darker color, okay? It's the color that pulls it all together and holds it down, all right? And of course, with that anchor color, we're gonna go with this, oh, do I wanna do the darker brown or go real dark with that black? Let's do 1 and 1, all right? Let's see which one looks the best, all right? So we're starting with the brown, okay? We're gonna start with the brown, you see that? We're gonna start with the brown. And honestly, I think the brown is going to do just fine. You know, this is the anchor color. This is just that darker color that just seals the deal. You know what I'm saying? This is the color we take here and then we bring it up underneath as well. Okay, this is a lighter brown and I do see a darker brown in here that I probably should have went with, so let's try that. It's kind of like in between the two, so I think I like that better. And that's this one right here. I didn't show y'all this one, okay? So yeah, I think we're gonna stick with that one because it's in between the two. It's dark brown and it got the little black hue, so I think that's the best way to do it. And I like to work kind of from the outside in a lot because I notice when I work from the inside out, sometimes I have to like go back in and do the inside over a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. So you see, so we're gonna go in and we're going to do the inside just a little bit, but let's go ahead and blend this out, y'all, because we don't want this too dark. Okay, let's go ahead and blend this. And like I said, we just have fun. There's no rules to this, y'all. Just do what you do. Just feel confident. The only rule is to remain confident in how you look. And you can rock any look. You know what I'm saying? Just go with that. You can rock any look that you want. All right. Let me see if I can find a, because I want to color for up here. So I think I'm going to go with like this, okay? Or we can go a little bit darker. This is called Bake It Happen. We could go with one of these two right here. Let's see which one, excuse me, we want to do. We'll start with the lighter. We'll do a little bit of both, okay? All right, let's go up here. There we go. You see that? Period. All right, just want to bring out that eye, that arch, okay? Let them know, okay, I do have an arch in my eyebrow. You know? All right, and let's tone it down just a little bit because it is a little bit light. So I'm toning it down with this color and this color right here. So I go here and then I go here and then I tone it down just a little bit. Just to like peach it, you know, give it a little bit of a nude, right? All right, so we're gonna go in with this color again, okay? And we're just gonna darken it up in here because we want a little bit more, okay? We want that to show just a little bit more because we done toned it down, okay? And we want that to show just a little bit, okay? And we're just, like I said, having fun. We're not doing anything major. We're just having fun, y'all. That's how you have fun in life, you know? You just have fun. You go in, you feel confident, and you do what you do. Period. Okay? So we have that Oh, there go my hubby. Hey, babe.
Hello.
How you feeling?
Good.
Good.
I ain't feel good. I got these people on the phone and they got me on hold. It's
Uh-oh.
crazy.
Okay. Well, let me finish this makeup and I'll go on there and be crazy with you. Y'all, what I'm looking for? Oh, I'm looking for this. Oh, but I gotta go underneath. That's what I was looking for, that other brush. So let's get back to the story, y'all. So we in Miami. We're having a really good time. You know what I'm saying? We chilling. And we going with the flow while we there. We're visiting family, and everything. And at this point, I think we've been in Miami for about 2 out of those days. Thanksgiving has passed, okay? And the day after Thanksgiving, I just started having like a crazy feeling. I don't know. I had a crazy feeling. Like, I'm like, babe, let's just go home. I'm ready to go. I just feel like we need to get back to the house because, you know, I don't know what it is. I just have a crazy feeling. And he was just like, what? What's the feeling? And I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like something crazy is happening, something bad. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's time to go. We need to leave. We need to leave. So this was Friday. So we were supposed to leave Sunday or Monday. And I had to cover me up a little bit on that one, y'all. But we were supposed to leave like Sunday or Monday. So they was like, all right, we'll go ahead and leave. Because I'm like, I don't know what this feeling is, but I need to, you know, go home. So y'all, we decide to pack it up. We get on the road Saturday. Okay. We pack it up. We get on the road Saturday. And we left probably like Saturday afternoon, I believe. Saturday afternoon we left. So we're driving, and we probably like about, because it take us maybe about 9 hours, okay, of driving from Florida back to our house. Now to get to Georgia, it don't take that long. It probably take about 7.5 hours. But because we're up in Georgia, you know what I'm saying? We're in like the northern part, so it takes us a little bit longer. So we like about 6 hours in. We like damn near the top of Florida, damn near about to make it to Georgia. And my son calls, the one who we just dropped off. My son calls and he says, Mom. So it's like maybe this is the day after Thanksgiving, yeah. So this is Friday. So he's like, Mom, the neighbor called me. She said give her a call. Because I had a cool neighbor. She was fine. We loved her, right? We used to always, like, they used to help her out so much. Like, I remember one time she was locked out. He had changed her locks. You know, he used to help fix stuff because she was a nurse or whatever. So she used to be on a lot of long shifts or whatever. And sometimes we would have to, like, you know, watch her kids. She had 2 teenage kids. So sometimes we would have to, you know, just make sure they straight and things of that nature. And if we saw anything, you know, let her know, hey, girl, what's going on at your house? You know, stuff like that. She was real cool. So, what happened was she was the one who called. No, she wasn't the one who called. It was another neighbor, the people who live exactly across the street. So they were the one who called my son. And the reason they called my son is because we had a package on the door, on our doorstep. And on the package, this neighbor went and got our packages off the doorstep. And he called the number. You know how on the package you have the name of the person it's going to, the address and the phone number. He called the number, and it was my son's number, right? So when he called the number, my son was like, yeah, the neighbor called. And I'm like, why would the neighbor, like, we have been living over there almost 3 years, right? It probably would have been longer if this wouldn't have happened, but it was like almost 3 years we have been living over there. So, yeah, I'm like, why is the neighbor calling? So we called. He was like, oh, I don't know. They said it was an emergency. So I'm like, okay, what is going on? You know, so he was like, when we called back, we called her because we didn't get no answer when we called him back. So we called her back, and she was like, oh my God, I just got home. And she was like, the neighbor's house is on fire. Not my house, but the house next to mine. okay? She was like, oh my God, girl, their house is on fire. It's burnt to crisp. She was like, the whole house is on fire. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, oh my gosh. She's like, girl, this is bad. Like it was everybody. It was people who were driving by, who were coming to the neighborhood. It was the police over there. It was the firefighters, of course, was over there. Even the news, okay? Even the news was over there. So all of this was taking place. It was live. It was like, oh my God. So we trying to hurry up and get home. So she was like, oh my God. So I was like, all right, keep us posted, keep us posted. And she was like, girl, I'm just so, nervous. So she called us back like about maybe 15 minutes later. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it was the people who was living right next door. So she called us back like 15 minutes later. She was like, girl, they still over here like trying to put this fire out. And then she says, oh no, they're going in your house. They're kicking your door in. And I'm like, what? She said, I don't know why. She said, they're going in your house, because she was on the opposite side of me. So she couldn't see why they were going in. So she went over there and she was like, oh no. And part of their roof that burnt, sparked, it was like a pop, and it went over onto my house. So now my house is on fire, okay? My house is on fire and it is burning. She's like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. She was like, your house. So I'm thinking like the whole time, y'all, I'm sitting up here like, I got her on speaker, so my husband is listening, and she's like, and they couldn't contain the fire. They could not, like, because my house was burning for a while before they realized that my house was burning. So they were so busy putting out the house next door to me that my house is on fire and it's going in and they don't even know. So that's when she found out. That's when she said, oh my God, they kicking your door in. That's when they found out that my house was on fire and they couldn't kick my door in. So they had to go in through the garage. They had to break the glass, because you know you have the two little glass pieces on each side of the door. That's how they were able to get in, and then they had to go in through the garage and all of that stuff. All of this I'm listening to while we're driving home. So I'm like, oh my God, we gotta hurry up and get home. Like, we gotta hurry up and get home. Like, that was the most, y'all, the scariest. I didn't know how to feel. Like, my house is literally burning down, and I'm like, at this point, we're probably like about an hour away now. So by the time we pull up to the house, by the time we get to the house, they have put all the fires out and everybody's gone. There's nobody like there. So, at this point, and this is my eyelash dryer, you guys. Okay, so it could dry really quick. So y'all, please excuse the noise that comes along with it. But I gotta dry these. When you put them on, you really need to dry them really quick. Because you don't want that glue falling in your eye. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. So, yeah. So, y'all, please excuse the noise, okay? So, anywho, yeah, we get there and everybody is, like, gone, okay? There's nobody there. The street is dark, and this is what my house looked like. Okay, this is what we come home to after a Thanksgiving trip. Now, the neighbors, let me tell y'all, because see, this is why y'all got to understand why Sighren is the way Sighren is, okay? A lot of you, may or may not notice I live a very spiritually based life, okay, and lifestyle. So, and this is why, because my life has been full of it's been serendipitous, okay? It's never been normal. It's always been weird, okay? Weird things that just occur. So, the neighbor, this is what our house looks like. And the next day, the neighbor tells us, he literally had a conversation with Bae. And he says, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't know your house was going to get burnt. So Bae is like, what? He was like, I didn't know it was going to burn your house too, you know. This mofo told Bae he did this for the insurance because he wanted to sell the house. But if he would have sold the house, he wouldn't have gotten what he wanted for it. So they burnt their house down because the insurance money would have paid them more for the house. And they wanted to move. Okay. That's what he said. Those were his words. Those were his exact words. And he said, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going to burn your house. I didn't know. Now, prior to us going out of town, I did find it quite strange that before we left, there was like maybe weeks before we left, okay, there was a woman who was at their house. I think it was their mother-in-law or somebody. I don't know who this woman was. So there was this woman who was at their house, and I did see her sprinkling some stuff in the yard. And I was wondering because she came over into my yard a little bit, right? And I remember getting up going, I'm like, who is this woman outside and what is she doing? And I remember getting up and going out there and looking, and she just disappeared. Like, I didn't see where she went. By the time I got outside, I saw her, but she just like kind of disappeared. I don't know where she went, but she was sprinkling some stuff. And I was just like, what in the world? You know, I just thought that was very weird. Now, these particular neighbors of mine, they were either, I think they were Mexican. I don't know. They were of some sort of Spanish type of background. Okay, I don't know what exactly. I don't know if they were Mexican. I don't know if they were Dominican. I don't know what their background was. But it does, you know, make me believe that they may have been into some other type of spiritual practices, occult, Santeria, you know, all of that other Yoruba, maybe, whatever they call it. I don't know. Okay, but you never know who you live next to. But anywho, so yeah, y'all. He tells us this, and what was so strange was, now the good thing is we had, you know, renter's insurance, okay? We had renter's insurance, but because it was their fault, okay, we would have had to go under their insurance, and they had good insurance. They had State Farm. They had good insurance, I ain't gonna lie. And we couldn't live in our house. We had to move out and go to a hotel. So here we go, fresh off the road, and we had to go straight to a hotel. We couldn't go in our house, okay? So this is why the hotel that I lived in when this house flooded, that was the exact same hotel we lived in. And I couldn't take it, y'all. Even though, you know, the insurance was helping us at that time, I couldn't take living in a hotel. You know what I'm saying? That was like our first time. We were in the hotel for like about 6 weeks. And I was just like, I have to hurry up and find a place. I couldn't take it. I really couldn't take it. And that's when I found this place right here that we're living in. That's when I found this place. It was like, I just need to hurry up and find something that was, I had to keep it in the same school district because I didn't want to change the twin school. You know what I'm saying? So they already been through enough. You know, they done lost their house. They done lost all of their stuff. You know, I didn't want to have to put them in a new school. So of course I needed something over here, and I needed something quick, you know. So that's when we found this place right here, y'all. And that's why I'm living in this house now. Honestly, this is not a bad house. But if I had more time, which I did, but if I wasn't under such pressure to move, I would not have moved in this house right here. This is not a house that I personally would have chose, okay? So that's why, you know, I end up moving over here into this house, into this neighborhood, because like I say, it was the only thing that they had, or it was the most decent thing that they had in the same school district that the girls were already in. So I was like, you know, let's just go with that, okay? Let's just stick with that, call it a day, all right? And I'm going to be going out to lunch with Bae, so I'm just doing a subtle look. And I wanted something kind of neutral, okay? Something kind of neutral, y'all. So that's why I went with this look right here. I still got on my little gym wig, y'all. I took a shower in it. Yes, I did. I did. I just left it on. But I'm getting ready to take it off. I'm going to change it out. But that's a look. I purchased this by One Size. It is a setting spray. It is a power melt is what it's called. I love it. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. All right. Whew. Yes. It's the first setting spray I've ever used that don't really cake up the makeup like afterwards. It leaves it feeling very natural. So anywho, yeah, this is why I found this house right here, y'all. And the move was just, I couldn't take being in that hotel anymore. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I was grateful we had somebody to come clean up and we didn't have to do all that stuff. But it was just so sudden, like to have to move, to come home from a long trip, first of all. And to have to move out that night. We had to get a hotel that night because we were tired from the drive and we needed a place to sleep, and we could not sleep in our house. As you can see, this is what my bedroom looked like, okay? So just imagine the rest of the house. And not only that, what I didn't like was once we notified the people we were renting from, because we're still under the same, we've been renting under the same company for 10 years now, right? Once we let them know about the fire, they gave us like 3 days to move out of the house. So that was something else that was very frustrating. They gave us 3 days, and after 3 days, they went and they locked the house out. It was like, locked the house up. Whatever you ain't get, you ain't gonna get. So we had to move, okay, within 3 days, all of that. I had nothing packed up, boxed up. You know, I had to go through what I could get, what I couldn't get. I had to leave a lot of my stuff behind. Birth certificates, you know, important documents, a lot of stuff that I lost because I didn't have time to dig through it. I had to get up every day. I had to take the twins to school because, you know, they couldn't get the school bus from the hotel. So I had to rearrange my whole life in like 3 days, you know, and me and Bae had to, you know, constantly go back and forth, and we had to find a storage unit and all of that stuff. And we had to put everything in storage. So with us having what we had left over, which was pretty much whatever was in my garage, because all of the bedrooms were destroyed. And it was just like crazy, y'all. I couldn't take any of my furniture. My furniture was destroyed. It was just burnt to crisp, you know, and then with the water and all of that stuff. So a lot of my documents, as y'all could see in my bedroom, a lot of my documents were inside of my nightstands and stuff like that. And I just didn't like the way they rushed us out. Like they had no concern, y'all. They was just like, yo. And on the third day, it's not like you get a whole 3 days. That third day was when they came. So you had 2 days, okay? And it wasn't like they were offering us like another spot. Like, okay, let's give y'all some time. They was like, okay, we closing out this lease because you can't live in there. That house is like deemed uninhabitable. So you can't live in there. So the lease is up. It's over and done. So we're literally homeless at this point, you know what I'm saying? Living in a hotel. So I think the frustration of it all is what had me just like, you know what I'm saying? Full of anxiety and stuff like that. So I didn't like the way they handled us. You know, I didn't like the way they handled that entire situation. But they were like, oh, well, if you find another spot, another place, then, you know, we could just transfer your deposit from this house over to that one. So that's what they were able to do. They did transfer my deposit over to this house. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay. But another thing I found disrespectful was the firefighters who came in. Okay, so basically I have this little thing where I used to create like an abundance corner in my house. And in my house I had like this, it was fake money, okay? And I will always tell everybody, look, you know, I'm gonna have this one day, you know what I'm saying? So I had this fake money in my house, like on a table or whatever. And I remember my neighbor calling me late before we got to the house. She was like, whatever reason, she was like, it's 2 firefighters that are back. I don't know why they at your house. They pulled up in a regular car, like a firefighter car, not the truck, but like a little car. And they pulled back and they went in through my garage. She was like, I don't know why they back. I don't know what they doing over there. This is before we got home. So come to find out, they thought that was real money, child. I know people was coming back to get that dang on money because I saw it was like all, you know, messed up on the table. I was like, not only that, did they come back to steal, who knows what else they took, because I didn't have time to really look through my jewelry and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When you going through that, you don't have time to really look through things. Good thing is the most important jewelry I always have is my wedding ring and my Rolex watch, okay? And I had that with me. So anything else that they may have taken, you know, I wouldn't have missed it. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, and then another thing that they did that pissed me off was they wrote their initials on the wall in the soot. So we had like RJ in the wall, and then it was another. I was like, that is just so disrespectful. That is so insensitive. And who would do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you write your initials in the soot on somebody's wall to be like, oh, I was the one who was here? Or what would make them do that? I don't know. But it just, you know, that really distorted my view of, you know, the help. But I ain't gonna let that distort my view of overall. It was just that particular experience that I was just like, that was very insensitive. So yeah, with that, you know, being said, y'all, I look at it as a blessing. For whatever reason, God needed to uproot me and my family, and I just kept my faith the entire time. I say everything happened for a reason. Maybe it was just time for us to get from over there. Who knows? I'm grateful we were able to find something, you know, nearby in the same school district and all of that stuff. We didn't have to uproot the kids and cause any more conflict in their life. And, you know, we're here. I've been in this house for like 8 years, 8 years now, since that has happened. And I've built memories here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just grateful that this is just it for me. After I leave out of this house, I'm going to be moving to a whole other state. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about everything that I built here. I started my business over at the other house, the idea of it. I had the idea of my business at the other house, but this house is where I birthed my business. And it has been really a blessing. It has been very big and very powerful for me, and it opened me up to a new version of myself. So, you know, it really just let me know in the midst of hard times, God is always there, right? And you just have to focus on the purpose of the situation. When you focus on the pain that you're going through, when you focus on the misery and you focus on you know, then it's going to cause more conflict. But I had to be still, and I had to find us another place, you know, and I had to do all of that in patience and perseverance, okay, and in praise. And here we are today. So that was another story time, y'all. Bay is here. Bay is like, girl, come on, let's go get this food. So I am going to be seeing you guys on the next one. I hope you appreciate this look and the story time. That's my
Sighren. Where all my gems at?